First, my name is Erika. I am a Chicana, I'm a queer Chicana from West Phoenix. That's pretty much where I grew up. My parents are from Mexico, and I'm a first generation, what they would call a first generation American. I've been doing a lot of work with the help of my friends who are also part of Wednesday. We're like a family. And so I've been doing a lot of work with them, and I've learned a lot. And so I said yes to be here because I feel like it's my time to speak. So thank you. So I joined Quinta in 2009, and right off the bat, it was very alarming to me, some of the things that I was seeing. We had a federal agreement called 287G, and 287G allowed Arpaio and sheriffs to do raids on the streets. And so when I first came, I wasn't 100% sure what was going on, but it was just crazy to me because, I was starting to see people holding signs talking about, Mexicans were dirty, they were, they were rapists, they were murderers. And I had just moved back to Arizona, and I was a little surprised to a lot of the in-your-face racism that was happening. And so, the raids became normalized to the people around us, and I started to see, even Chicanos, Chicanas and Chicanos, they started to divide themselves and say they were different than, the Mexicans. And I couldn't believe that. And so once I started seeing the raids happening, I started seeing what looked like dog catcher trucks pull people over. They were windowless trucks, and they would come get people, a lot of people specifically after work, and they were going into communities that were mostly, brown folks. And at the time Arpaio was doing press conferences, like 3 days prior to a raid, he would put it out into the media and say, hey, I'm gonna do a raid. And then I started to see the after effects of what it was doing to the people that were mostly affected. And it was really just putting fear into them that I would see families get together and, sleep in one house because they were afraid of what could happen. It was just a really, really scary time. And so we started protesting 287G. We're out there every day. It was us, a handful of people. We were at Arpaio's office every day, Wells Fargo. We protested from 12 to 1. We don't care how hot it was outside. We were there every single day. And so in March of 2010, we took off on a human rights tour. We went cross country, and we started to connect with other communities that were facing similar, criminalization that we were starting to face here, acknowledging that Arizona was we were the ground zero. And so for myself, someone who just kind of stepped in the scene, started learning about social justice, it was pretty scary what I saw. Once we left Phoenix, our first place was Tucson. In Tucson, they started talking about death. And I just couldn't believe it, they handed us crosses, and, I had, mujeres, hombres, the unknown workers, and, we carried that all the way from community to community, all the way to Washington, D.C., and then we joined in a big rally. But at the same time, SB 1070 was starting to pass here in Phoenix. So we came straight back, went right to the Capitol, and started protesting every day. And again, I was taken off guard because, I couldn't believe that, laws were about to be passed that were pretty much, persecuting us, marginalizing us, and criminalizing us. That was my initial reaction. And so it passed, which I knew, because I don't put any faith in any elected official because I've seen it for myself over and over that there's not a lot of help. So when it passed, I was like, all right, what do we do now? And luckily, I've got some of my Fuentes folks in here, but, me and my friend Joanna, we started a community crisis line. And with the community crisis line, people would call us up, and we started to document a lot of the stories that we were hearing, which were a lot centered around police violence, abuse. We heard the worst stories. And so I started taking all this stuff in. We started the crisis line. We started, they were called Comités del Barrio, and we had about 30 of them all over Maricopa County. And so we used it as a network of communication. So if our file was going to do a raid or something was going to happen or a workplace raid, we would notify one comité or comité saw like, yeah, checkpoint. And so they would, stop, if they saw one in the network, boom, everybody would go and talk about it. And so those are some of the ways that we organized in response to SB 1070. And then I started to see something so crazy. It took me to the next level, I guess. I started to really realize and really take in the stories of the families and some of the things that we were doing. And then my friend Joanna was up there too. She's the legal director of Fuente. We started a Uno por Uno campaign, and she pretty much, her and her team, get people out of detention. We've had numerous of people that we've gotten out, but basically kind of working around that, but seeing a lot of the families come in, and when the families came in, they started to repeat a story that became very, very familiar to myself personally. And I can't believe it took me a long time, but I'm really happy that I figured it out. But it was the fact that my brothers were in prison too. And so, although we are U.S. citizens, I started to see the similarities between what the families were saying to what I had experienced as a child growing up, seeing my brothers locked up since juvenile hall, going into the court system, figuring out how to put money on someone's book, dealing with public defenders, my brother calls them public pretenders because they don't really help us in the long run. And I started to see just the similarities that, my family and, as a lot of Chicanos, a lot of us, we have family locked up. And so it kind of bothered me at first that it was very normal to me. Like it was like I was consoling a young girl, and her dad had just been civil disobedience, and he was in Fourth Ave. And I was consoling her, and I was telling her, you know what, you're going to be okay. It's just Fourth Ave. It's just Fourth Ave. And I felt horrible that it's not just Fourth Ave. The Fourth Ave is a horrible place. That Fourth Ave and those tents and Arpaio and everything that he does is I don't even know what to call it. It's against our human rights. It's a violation to us as people. And when I think about criminals as they label, him and his crew and his posse and everybody who puts these laws in place, they are the criminals to me. So I became very disturbed by all that stuff, and luckily I got involved into a program called Humanity Behind the Walls, and I started working with Dr. Alan Gomez, and I would say that took me to another level of being a community organizer. I'm not, I'm not a student at ASU. I pretty much walked into this lifestyle, and so now as we go into the prison, me and my sister, I'm actually going to go in after I leave here. I brought my prison gear that is approved to go in, and working with those women and seeing all different sides, because I have more experience working with men because of my brothers, and my uncles. Seeing the women and how it just was a whole different side to the story. Like my brother, it's gangs, it's the drugs, it's a very hard life, it's egos, and then with the women, from what I've seen, and I'm new at it, they're okay with creating spaces where, they can support each other and, talk about their struggles and talk about what it's like being a mother behind bars, and, they tell their stories about, how they heal in the desert. And the thing that kind of tripped me out too was that, so my brother's, the male system, you can move with time, you can go to different prisons, and then with the women, if you're a lifer, you're stuck in one prison for the rest of your life. And so that just in itself just really freaked me out. I was like, wow, these walls, you're going to see them for the rest of your life. And so to hear how they heal and hear how they find hope and hear how, they manage, it really humbled me, and it taught me a lot about resilience and it showed me a lot about my community, and I know now that that's what I want to focus the rest of my life doing. The prisons, that's pretty much why I'm here, you know. So I started with Puente, and then I'm with Humanities Behind the Walls, and the common denominator is that the incarceration. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. I started to think about what I was going to say, and started thinking about what is the ask really. And I guess the ask would be to be compassionate towards other people. You know, everybody has a different struggle, they have a different story. And what I noticed with the crisis line, people would call us and they were angry and they were like, "You guys are breaking the law, and you know, criminals, you guys deserve this." And it was, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's what they think about us. That's what they think about our families. You know, we're criminals, and so that's not okay." And all of us, it doesn't matter, you know, what you do for a living. We try to survive the best way we can. We live in a capitalist society where poverty takes over and people only have any little means and they do what they can. My brother was kicked out of school at a very young age. He was pushed out of society at a very young age. And, you know, like I said, the documented people are doing the same thing, and they're, you know, we just gotta ask questions. And to me, it's a little bit less about policy, but it's about the true roots of where this all comes from. And I started taking the initiative on my own to learn about the criminalization and the history of it. And I'm just going to be so blunt, and I'm going to say it's white supremacy, because that's really what drives the police force. You know, it's a system that's rooted in that. And I don't see any reform. You know, we're pulling out phones. You know, my brother was shot by the police. He survived. You know, he was carted off to prison right away. And so he's a survivor, and I'm thankful for that. But we need to speak about these issues that are really, they're real. And we intersect at them in so many ways. So I guess I would like to end it is pretty much be compassionate towards other people. That, you know, we need to stop criminalizing and punishing. We have too many people in prison. You know, there's this reform that they said that they were going to do 6,000 incarcerated people that they were going to let go of drug offenses. 1/3 of them are going to be deported. You know, they're building more detention centers. More people are dying in them. You know, they're harping on things that we would do naturally, such as migration, and they're using that against us. You know, Phoenix, we need to hold our police accountable. You know, and we need to go further, and, you know, we've got a border patrol problem. We need to hold them accountable. You know, we're being militarized in our communities every day, and we need to build a community. We need to fight back, and we need to stop that, because it's a violation to us. It's a violation to our children. It's a violation to future generations. I look at places like Florence, Arizona. It's a community that is surrounded by prisons. I asked a woman at a Circle K, I said, "Isn't that crazy that right behind you is a prison fence?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, this is, everybody loves it." And I'm like, "What the heck?" Like, it was like, no, I know people who have been locked up in solitary confinement there forever. Like, it is not cool that there's a McDonald's playground where kids can just look out. Their only choice is to end up there or work there. Like, we gotta break that cycle in every which way. So I just want to thank you. I'm sorry for getting emotional. I'm very upset again. I don't know. Thank you so much for having me here.